Ha guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Emotional Steve C statement should leave door ajar for explosive Warriors reunion. While much of the focus surrounded Jimmy Butler's return to Miami, it was Andrew Wiggins who got revenge on his former team as the Heat crushed the Golden State Warriors in a 112-86 victory at Casa Center on Tuesday. Wiggins was a much improved defender throughout his time with the Warriors, and that was on full display as the Canadian played a big role in his former team's offensive woes. Wiggins was a big part of the Warriors for 5 years, turning himself from a draft bust into an incredibly valuable two-way player who was named an All-Star in 2022 and was a critical part of Golden State's championship. Just months later, the Canadian didn't do much wrong when it came to the franchise's decision to trade him for Butler in early February. In fact, if not for his strong bounce back to form with their Warriors to start the season, his value may not have reached a point where Mike Dunleavy Jr. and the front office was able to move Wiggins for a player of Butler's caliber. It was just that Golden State realized that in 2025, with the ever-growing compilation of talent around the league, they needed a more proven second star to support Stephen Curry and get the best out of whatever remaining prime the 2x MVP has left, and Andrew Wiggins' Warriors reunion should be on the table someday. It was easy to see before and after Tuesday's game that there's still plenty of love between Wiggins and his former teammates. Coaches: a number of Golden State players embraced Wiggins following Mam's victory, including veterans Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. Head coach Steve Kerr started the week with a heartfelt statement on Wiggins, who entered Tuesday's game off a near-career-high 42-point performance against the Charlotte Hornets on Sunday. "We can't wait to see him, Wiggins, tomorrow, and hopefully he doesn't give us 42 points, but I root for that guy and I will for the rest of his career," Kerr told 95.7 The Game's Will Arden Dibbs on Monday. "Everybody loves Wiggs, just an incredible human being, and we miss him around here." The ironic act is that Wiggins would probably still be a great fit in Golden State right now with his 3-and skill set, a nice complement to Curry and Butler, while his supplementary isolation scoring would be useful but not completely necessary, unlike Butler's relationship with Miami, which ended under tumultuous circumstances. You'd suggest that there's still enough to love between Wiggins and Golden State to suggest that a reunion could be possible in the future. That's not to say it will happen, but at just 30 years old, Wiggins is still young enough where he could return to the Warriors in a similar but much more significant manner to what we saw with Gary Trent a couple of years ago. Jimmy Butler needs to put money where his mouth is for Warriors to contend. Jimmy Butler caught at the top of the floor with 8 seconds left on the shot clock. His defender L. Unging toward half-court after shooting the gap for a steal. Only Tyler Harrow was between Butler and the rim as he quickly turned on his pivot foot, seemingly primed to attack downhill instead of going right at the chest of his former team's most exploitable defender, though Butler waited for Gary Payton to set a ball screen, losing the initial advantage yielded by Haywood Highsmith's gamble. The result of that Payton was just as frustrating for Golden State Warriors fans as it's become predictable since the future Hall of Famer's arrival from the Miami Heat at the trade deadline. The ball immediately found its way back to Butler after Shocker opted against launching an above-break triple. Miami had recovered by then, relegating Butler to create with their half-court defense set and shot clock ticking below 4 seconds, the type of distress players of his caliber routinely overcame on the path to undisputed stardom. Butler is a different kind of a star. He barely looked to score upon putting his head down and drawing a double team, even turning away from the basket to find the open man with just 1 second left for the Warriors to draw iron. The ensuing shot clock violation was the Dubs' third of a rough first half, one in which they managed just 40 points on 35% shooting. It's not exactly surprising that Golden State once again struggled to score without Stephen Curry. The slumping Heat were desperate for a win on Tuesday, with both the postseason looming and Butler back in South Beach for the first first time since his acrimonious exit to still any expectation that Butler might flip the switch to play off Jimmy early under those special circumstances was gone well before he settled for a shot clock violation just moments before intermission. His default mode of offensive table setter was evident from the opening tip at Casa Center, just like it's been almost every time he suited up in Warriors blue and gold so far. Butler finished with 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists and a steal on 5 of 12. Shooting in Golden State's blowout 112-86 loss to Miami. One solitary free throw attempt best conveyed his docile offensive approach. Circumstances of the season schedule be damned. Entering Friday's road matchup with the New Orleans Pelicans, the 41-31 Warriors are virtually tied with the LA Clippers and Minnesota Timberwolves for the 6th and final playoff spot in the Western Conference. Each of the 11 remaining games in the regular season is pivotal to their hopes of avoiding the play-in tournament, as was Tuesday's. Curry thankfully is primed to return to the lineup for Golden State as soon as Friday night, mitigating the sweeping effects of his new co-star's preference to create shots for his teammates as opposed to himself. But the postseason is coming fast, and doubt about Butler's time-honored ability to morph into offensive alpha dog when it matters most is understandably growing. Can Jimmy Butler really flip playoff switch with Warriors? Don't count Butler among a burgeoning group of skeptics regarding his late career scoring chops. He seems fully intent on leveling up with the Warriors in that regard come playoff time, just like he did with the Heat, twice leading Eric Spoelstra's team to the NBA Finals. I'm not just a scorer. I could score whenever I want to. I could shoot the toughest of toughest shots if I wanted to, and nobody's ever going to say anything, Butler told reporters following Golden State's win over the short-handed New York Knicks on March 15. But I want to get everybody involved. I want to get guys in their spots. When it's my time to score, you'll know that it's my time, but until then I'm going to pass the ball to the open man, get my guys some jumpers, get them out in transition, and we're going to keep winning. A former junior college transfer who cut his baby teeth in the league as a role player, Butler has defied the odds at pretty much every stage of his basketball journey. Even so, his next challenge figures to be one of the 35-year-old's toughest. Shaq had weird reason for why Jimmy Butler Warriors got blown out by Heat. Jimmy Butler made his return to Miami on Tuesday night as he and the Golden State Warriors got blown out by the Heat 112-86. The 35-year-old guard spent 6.5 seasons with the Heat before being traded to the Warriors last month after a very content-just final few months with the team that included Butler being suspended. Butler had a rough game against his former squad, scoring just 11 points on 5 of 12 shooting. Shaquille O'Neal weighed in on the bad night for Butler and the Warriors, saying on TNT that the team spent too much time in Miami before the game to be ready to play at a high level. It's hard to hold a grudge for 5 days in a place like Miami. Shaq said, if I arrive on a Monday and we play on Tuesday, I'm still upset, but you arrive, you chilling, you go to your house, you got prime 112, you in the boat. Steve Kerr is a player's coach. He's going to give you 2 days off. Jimmy wanted to play great, but obviously they were flat and they had too much fun in Miami. 5 days in Miami, concentration is at 0 period for any team. Warriors played the Hawks in at Atlanta on Saturday, so they were likely only in Miami for 3 days. That still might have led to their struggles, but Candace Parker made a better point about why their Warriors, who were without a banged-up Stephen Curry, played so poorly. They have the worst offensive efficiency in the league without Steph Curry on the floor, Parker said on TNT, so I think Steph not playing impacts at all. They need him to get right and get healthy. Their Warriors are now 41-31 and are in the 6th spot in the Western Conference. And you fan, what do you think about Shaquille O'Neal's situation? Write to us in the comments.